All right, shall we go to have a chat with Shane Jones?
Ah, yeah, our favourite koro.
This was such an interesting interview. They clearly, the two of them, this is with Moana. With Moana. They clearly have a history of, I assume, like journalism background or, politics and being a journalist and a politician. Um, Having a background makes this a very interesting chat because she's not scared to confront him and go, no, no, mate. No, I know. Like I've seen you in the past. I know what you believe. And this doesn't sit well.
Yeah, well, I
Um,
mean, like, this conversation could only happen between two Māori people. Like,
mm,
no one else could. Like, there's just like, to me, this is quintessentially something that could only happen between two Māori people because there's like, we have a different way of dealing with things, you know? We might not
mm,
necessarily feel like we have to do the, you know, dancing around shit, you know?
mm,
A spade's a spade, and if you're being a
mm,
dick, you're being a bloody dick.
It's a good point. I never thought about that. There, yeah, we we don't like to stir the pot, do we?
Nah, yeah, it's that like trying to like namby pamby around things that like I definitely don't love about the more Western system that we live in because it's like same with Parliament. They should be able to call people liars when they're fucking lying.
Yeah,
Like you
but they
should
are.
be
Yeah.
able to say like truthfully what is happening. Not all the
Mm,
spin that we get basically told should be how it is because the spin is where everything gets confusing and where they
mm,
lose the majority of the people's understanding and then they get away with crap.
yeah. Oh,
Anyway,
so
that's a rant for another time to be fair.
I look forward to it. First up, we just got a quick little explanation from Shane Jones, who finally defines what wokeism is. His favorite word. He finally defines what wokeism is. So really, really appreciate this. But let's have a listen to what he thinks wokeism is.
You set up the very first Māori unit within a
Mauri
ministry.
Whenua, yep.
Yeah, and what ministry was that?
Mauri Whenua in the Ministry for the Environment, 1988.
Back in the day, you said that nature was so important that the or should be used in reference in Te Reo. Was that correct?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll just agree with it. I can't remember. Yeah.
Okay, no, but it was a great statement.
Can you just explain that slightly, or expand on that?
In Te Reo Māori, you have an R and an O. So, like, you might have noticed sometimes you'll see, like, taku or toku, like, for yourself, like, toku ingoa, my
Mm.
name, or taku. So, those have different, they're two different categories and different things sit within them. So, like, um, the R category, say if you had, like, a younger person that was kind of more below you, that they go under the R category. Whereas your, like, elders, they go into the O category because that kind of reverence more above you. I always got taught that it's A, you can put your arms down and make an A because it's below you, or from your generation and below, and then up and around because they are the ones that are above you.
Interesting.
Mm.
Hmm. Interesting indeed.
So yeah, that's why
Um,
some of the words change based on those categories.
so what is Shane Jones talking about here?
So
I'll just go
that
back.
or is basically saying that like the reverence is given to the land because and it would have been
Mm,
of the land. Whereas,
mm,
like, with what he's doing is very much against that kind of reverence and putting, you know, the awe there really kind of goes because it is from that. It is of that
mm.
and it has that respect rather than if you used an R, it wouldn't.
Interesting. Thank you. Appreciate that.
You set up the very first Māori unit within a
Mauri
ministry.
Whenua, yep.
Yeah, and what ministry was that?
Mauri Whenua in the Ministry for the Environment, 1988.
Back in the day, you said that nature was so important that the or should be used in reference in Te Reo. Was that correct?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
I'll just agree with it. I can't remember. Yeah.
Okay, no, but it was a great statement. So do you still think like that?
Of course, the importance of the environment. See, this is the ideology of Māori wokeism.
What does woke mean?
Woke means to find a particular issue that you do not agree with and then elevate it as the basis for explaining everything that's wrong in Māoridom.
No, it doesn't.
Well, that's your view. That's
No,
what
it
I'm saying woke
doesn't.
is.
No, it doesn't.
Yep, let's agree to disagree, to do anything.
I love that. No.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying it is. No.
Oh,
I've defined it.
Oh, that gets me so. Every time I've seen it now, I just. Oh, man.
So wait, he's saying that it's anything that you don't agree with,
Yeah.
and then just defines everything under that. I don't agree with
Yeah.
this, therefore it's woke, right? That's
Well,
what
yeah,
he's
because
saying.
then his definition would mean that everything they do that we is like it's like it goes both ways technically.
Yeah, it's
So
anything,
like,
right?
yeah, it doesn't
Hey
make
guys,
sense,
I'm not a fan of mining. I think it's woke.
right?
Well, that's what Shane Jones thinks it is. So I mean, I'm not a fan of mining, so I
Mm-hmm.
guess that's pretty, I suppose it is
But
kind of woke in a way, isn't it?
yeah, right. And the throwback to last week's meme of what offends Klansmen easily. I mean, yeah, it was just
Yeah,
the
but
way he says that
yeah.
is just so. I mean, at least he says what he honestly thinks it is, because that is how they've co-opted that term. Like, it does have meaning when said by the right people, but it's the same. It's like they used to just say snowflakes, and now it's just moved to woke.
Yeah.
Like, what was
Yeah.
before that? I can't remember honestly, but they come up with some fucking thing to diminish or invalidate an argument. It's such a typical play from the right, really.
Was it gay? Oh, that's a bit gay.
I
Would that be
mean,
it? But it's a
that
little
would
bit
have been
different, isn't
probably
it?
one of no. I mean, that would probably be a little bit different. I can't think of what would have been like woke and snowflake. Oh, PC, yes, PC. That's it. Politically
PC!
correct.
Politically correct.
Yes,
Thank you.
there we go.
Thank you.
Fuck. Yeah.
That's right.
That's right, man. It's been a while since the PC days. Actually, I
know.
forget it now. But yeah,
That was a time.
Jesus.
Now we
Oh,
just
that's
have
so funny.
snowflakes and wokeism, and can't wait to see what the
Yeah.
next one is. But thank you, Shane Jones, for finally, PC wokester, finally defining woke for us. Appreciate it.
Mhm.
Next, we've got Shane Jones, who believes that Māori ceded sovereignty. So I'm just going to play this wee bit, and then Magenta, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this because...
Yeah, this is my favorite part.
Yeah, we'll play it. Don't get demonetized.
Now, Chris Hipkins told our show that Māori did not cede sovereignty by signing the treaty. The Prime Minister said that Māori did cede sovereignty. Who's right?
Well, the Labour Party...
No, that's a yes or no. Who's
No,
right?
no.
Who's
Of
right?
course the sovereignty was ceded.
What?
Sovereignty was ceded with the concession that property rights and authority over our own property. See, this is where you and I disagree. The notion that every hapu believed that they were going to be a sovereign microstate is fanciful.
The notion that hapu would willingly cede their mana and authority to a bunch of strangers requires a huge suspense.
But that's not what they did. They signed a bilingual treaty where one language says it's a cession of sovereignty and the other is the retention of property rights.
You're saying like that now, that it's just property rights. Individual.
All right, I'm a bit dumb. Tell me what he just said.
Okay, so he's trying to say that Te Tiriti being the bilingual document, that means that within it, there is basically, I guess, an argument that in the Māori text that we agreed to cede sovereignty. However, tino rangatiratanga, which is sovereignty, is within Te Tiriti. We did not cede it. And then trying to pull in the property rights, that goes back to a lot of stuff that basically started really around the 1840s. That is just kind of a cherry-picked thing that people just kind of go to because it sounds good. But the thing is that Māori never ceded sovereignty. Also, we have actually, as a country, we have signed up to what is called the UN Declaration of Independence. UNDRIP. And basically what that means is that any country that has like a treaty or an agreement with its indigenous peoples, you have to take the Māori one, the indigenous language one. So technically, that treaty isn't the legally binding document to begin with, and Te Tiriti is. So I mean, him trying to say this, like, to be honest, I don't feel like he truly believes that. I think he's just saying that because he knows that it's what, you know, he has to say to appeal to the people that, you know, are his voter base.
Yeah, it's quite. I feel like we're seeing that more and more with this government of not being honest to who you are and your morals and changing things based on the voter base and getting more votes.
He also tried to play like the mean victim and be like, people just pick on me and Winston and say we're bad Māoris. And it's like, well, if everyone else is saying the same thing, maybe you're the problem, bro.
Yeah. Just maybe. We'll carry on here for a little bit because Moana calls him out, which I do love. Oh, she's so good at this. She does not.
I
get
know,
any
right?
Unilever. I love it. So good.
Right.
You're saying like act now that it's just property rights, individual
Well, I'll
rights.
find another expression. I mean,
Is that it?
No, look at the language. They are rights, and we've developed those rights, which is why I really don't understand why you wokish types only want to talk about the Māori side of the treaty. It's Machiurata said it's an indivisible document.
I know that you know.
But no, well, of course
I know that you know.
That I know what?
I know that you understand the context at that time. Everything, the discussion was in Te Reo. Māori were economically, culturally, militarily superior or greater in number. And it does not make any sense that they would have gone, boom.
Okay, so
he does know? So you basically just said what you just said. He knows, but he's decided to ignore it.
He can't say that he knows. And like Kai Matara says here, you know, he whakaputanga was acknowledged and agreed to first. So like we already had the what they call the, you know, grandparent document. And Te Tiriti is actually, you know, that one's the one that comes underneath it. Or sorry, parent, you know, and child. Te Tiriti is the child document. Also, Tracy Roberts here points out that, you know, even if we go based off his one, property rights so much as all property was owned by tangata whenua. So once their whenua was stolen, those property rights are extended to all historical whenua. Like, even if that was the case, those property rights weren't even respected nor kept because now Māori don't own most of the land. So, yeah, either way you spin it, he's wrong.
Yeah. The last wee bit, although we're slamming through this. Do we need to give him less?
Oh, I mean, we can talk through. You know, sometimes we do have to, you know, especially considering he is so wrong. We have to, you know, make sure people know why he's wrong.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like he's been doing this long enough that he knows how to talk to his base.
Yep.
Yes. Anyways, the last little bit here is about what New Zealand First stands for. The Nationalist Party, as Winston Peters put it most recently, and what New Zealand First is really around for.
So you've claimed that your party is nationalist, eh? What does it mean?
patriotic.
So how patriotic is it for you to be selling New Zealand as a place where foreign companies can come and drill and dig and mine?
Yeah, so the whole history of New Zealand, even before the treaty, is foreign capital, foreign ideas. There has to be good guardrails, but I think there's just a stifling level of naivety for people who think that we can afford to fund the things in New Zealand without using foreign capital.
So,
okay, tell me I'm wrong. Fully happy to be wrong here. I kind of agree that we do need foreign money coming in, and that we can't just run our entire economy within ourselves. I mean, we're kind of all in a global economy, right, at this point. And he's kind of right about the guardrails. But he's
he says that, but does he mean
he's a bit of a hypocrite, right? Because he's essentially allowing Australian companies here just to mine.
The fast track bill is everything that goes against what he's saying anyway. There's also a bunch of changes that they're proposing, even still coming in now, that go against that. Like, he says things that sound all right, but once you actually look into what they're doing and how they're doing it, that's where the problems lie. And that's where a lot of the time they spin these things to sound good and to appeal to certain people because, yeah, there are some logical sounding things in there. But it's really the details that they miss out that they're an important part. They keep it vague on purpose so that it sounds good. But also the fact that, like, he's just like, yeah, we're a nationalist party. I'll be honest, my
Patriotic.
brain just went like, oh yeah, what was another nationalist party that existed? Like, I'm pretty sure back around when my grandma was born, and my grandma was born in like 1939. So, you know, just like kind of just sparked off a little. But, you know,
Was
I'm
that
sure
we're
nothing.
something to do with World War II? Is that what
Oh,
you're referencing
yeah.
there?
And it's
Maybe?
definitely has nothing to do with fascism. It's definitely not.
Oh, okay. You sure it wasn't 2025 with Trump? That's not what you
Yeah.
No,
Oh,
okay,
yeah,
sorry.
that's right. We're just redoing it all again. I
Yeah,
forgot.
50,
Sorry.
what, 60, 70 years later? Yeah, it's
This is the
full circle.
remix.
The remix.
World
We hit
War
1840.
2.5? Is this the patch update to World War 2? Yo, let's go. Patch update.
We'll continue on because we love hearing about Shane Jones talk about his nationalist. He's got it. Let him talk about his nationalist party. Let's figure out what New Zealand First is all about, eh?
The things in New Zealand without using foreign capital.
Oh, that's
So
But we have to have good guardrails.
good guardrails. So even the Australian banks are pulling out of things like coal mining.
See, that's all this wokeism I'm telling you about.
That's your go-to word, isn't it? Are you just using those words because they've called you out on your inability to perceive the long-term risks, or maybe they know more about the lack of economic benefits in that?
straight up just calls him out.
Like,
Maybe don't do this because it's not going to work. Maybe they know better and they're just all pulling out of mining because it's not profitable.
I mean, I think this comment says it. Shane Jones is our version of Ted Cruz. That is so true. Holy crap. Now I'm not going to be able to unsee that.
I love that every freeze frame of Shane Jones just looks like this.
Yeah. Do you know what he kind of reminds me of? It reminds me of one of the fish from SpongeBob. The one with the flounder ones.
Yes.
He does, right?
Oh, I'm going to find that after this, but
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
100%. Oh, wow.
No, you can't unsee
Now,
that.
I can't see it now. Let's get him. Let's watch this. See how he gets out of this stinking hole with his
Stinky.
No one else thinks it's
economic
profitable, but maybe
benefits in
you
that.
do.
The incentives upon the banks are largely the new climate regulations. And there probably are cases where banks are well entitled to make a credit decision about whether or not a particular mine is a good risk proposition for them. But those should be based on creditworthiness,
Can I
not,
just ask,
not all this climate regulation.
can I just ask, Winston will step down as deputy.
He also was the one who created the Environmental Commission or the Ministry of Environmentalism.
Yep.
But now he's annoyed because banks are wanting to adhere to climate change initiatives.
Because
And
that's
he's
too
pissed off
woke.
about that.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
because he doesn't. Oh, actually, I think he says it in a minute. I think. Is this the climate denial part?
We can play that for sure. He
'Cause
does have
that
a few
was
thoughts.
wild.
Yes, that is true. We'll just play a little bit here at the end, and I'll come back to the climate denial. She asked him whether or not David Seymour is going to be a good deputy prime minister, and in true political speak, beats around the bush. I love it.
Prime Minister shortly. Is David Seymour Deputy Prime Minister material, do you think?
I've got no doubt in my mind. Rewi understands the burden of being the Deputy Prime Minister and being the Acting Prime Minister from time to time. And I've got every confidence he'll rise to the occasion.
Do you guys get on really well?
Well, hey, we're on two different waka, but we're both professional politicians, and you shouldn't let philosophical differences that emerge from time to time stop you working together.
You could actually join up next election.
No, I'm with the Mātāmua, Winston, not going anywhere else.
A last question. How do you think Tai Tokero is going to go into Matatini?
Well, we always do well on the coral. It might reflect
religious.
our missionary heritage, which I never denigrate. But you're always going to struggle to beat the
Te aroa,
Te Aroa.
te ora matua. Ngā mihi.
Tarawa.
Can you just translate that for me? I didn't see that wee bit, but I was like, oh, interesting. Can you translate for me? I'm sorry, I'm asking way too many questions today. but-
Oh, so he said following the matamua, is that the part that you
yeah, just that.
yeah, so matamua it's like the first child, or like the eldest child usually. So it's like just referencing, he's following the him and would never follow the other one. But yes. Also eat
so
it.
our so our creator of the environmental commission, Ministry of Environmentalism, I think it was. Shall we ever listen to what he feels about how he feels about climate change?
So
Doesn't.
funny.
Yep, let's agree to disagree. To do anything with the environment, such as mining, whether it's fishing, whatever it is somehow destroying Māori culture. That is a woke view.
There are lots of concerns around the environment, around your policies, and you kind of tend to trivialise those and use this word woke to kind of minimise those. But you're talking about, there are people who are scientists, there are Māori landowners, there are coastal communities. Aren't they important?
Now, of course they're important. But on many of our environmental issues, I do not accept that the science is settled. Science has never settled.
Are you a climate denialist?
I'm not interested in climate change other than adapting. This notion that we can...
Oh my goodness gracious.
I
You've got grandchildren.
I campaigned on this.
What?
New Zealand First campaigned the best thing that New Zealand can do is adapt to changing climatic factors. We can't change it.
You just give up.
I just said we adapt. You know, one thing, I hope you did.
Look, call me wrong. I agree. We have to adapt. But I do like that she's like, what, you're a climate denialist? You don't believe in the science? And he's like, oh, the science. But yes,
Right.
we do need to adapt because we are one little country on the
Yeah,
planet. I
we
hate
have
to
to.
fucking agree with this guy. But yes, we have to adapt. But no, we shouldn't be giving up.
It's not the only thing. We're supposed to do both.
Oh no, I've lost Magenta. Or is that me?
Oh.
Oh no.
Is it you?
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Guys, in the
Guys.
chat, which one of
Guys.
us can you hear?
I hate that. You're just like, who was it? Me? Was it you? Who disconnected?
Right?
Yeah. So I hate to agree. I don't fucking agree. I fucking hate Jane Jones. Again.
Yeah, you've gotta
again.
do
You
both.
can't pause him. This is the face you get every time you pause him.
Mm-hmm.
But
you.
yes, we do need to adapt. But yes, we also need to listen to scientists, Jane Jones. And yes, you do have grandchildren. Maybe you should like just stop being in politics. How old are you now? Maybe just
Right. Go be a koro. Like, just go be a koro, bro. Like, could have had it all. Now he's just like, well, this thing, he could have ended his career on a high. But like, now
Yeah.
he's just slowly just like him and Winnie. There's like, why not end on a high, man? Go out good
Yeah.
and just enjoy your last years.
I know, and it's who would want to? It's a power thing, right? They just they never
Yeah.
want to. They never want to cede their sovereignty. No, hang on, no, sorry. Not
I
quite
mean,
the
to
right
be
parallel,
fair,
is it?
they're more just, I think they just can't help themselves. I think they're just like, nah, this is all I know how to do now. I mean, there are some of those old people who don't want to quit their job, you know, and they want to work into the grave. Unfortunately, their job just happens to be in politics.
And they want to put the country in the grave with them.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Shane Jones.
I know, right? Love it.
Well, yeah, there was a
Yeah.
fascinating interview.
Very, very good watch. Frustrating, but good.
Yeah,
Oh.
he just needs to like, I don't know, just pass the mantle. Like, your time is done. You did such good things in the past. Sorry, not such. You did some really good things in the past. Just roll over, go
Right.
and live your retirement with all the fucking money you've earned being a politician,
Mhm.
and just be one of those people who just sits in the throne and gets, doted on instead
Yeah.
of
Have a good life.
constantly in the news. Yeah, go
Right.
live your life, Shane Jones. Just go retire.
Yeah.
You've done your dash.
Do it while
we
they
won't be
still
upset.
have a retirement for, while they still have
retirement fund,
fund.
superannuation.
Yeah, yeah,
Well, we
yeah.
still got
Go do it while it's
superannuation.
still exists, man. Because it won't exist by
Yeah.
the time I'm there.
That's true. Did you want to add anything to the general discussion of
Oh,
of the
nah,
interview?
honestly, I've said enough. I just think it was, I mean, it was ridiculous, the things that came out of his mouth, but hey, at least the more he says this stuff, the more people can see what these people who we as taxpayers are paying a lot of money, like, we pay this man. That dude, we pay him. So just remember that your money goes to people like him, and this is what he does with it. Like, that's really the main thing, is we can't forget that we employ them.